Out Into the Void, Ozzy Osbourne tribute. My name is Loomis, and thank you for being here. If it's your first time here, please hit that subscribe button. And I want to thank everyone for the live stream last night who tuned in. And every normal live stream scheduled, though, is Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern. So, today, I want to talk about No Escape From Now on Paramount Plus, Ozzy Osbourne. I don't want to, documentaries and movies are different with spoilers and all that, but my take isn't going to be breaking down little scenes by scenes. It's just going to be a short little what it did, how I felt, and all of that. And I'm not going to mix the BBC in, but I'm going to mention something, though, that I didn't even know after seeing, the BBC when we get to it. But thank you for being here. No Escape From Now, Ozzy Osbourne. So I was in Lyndhurst, New Jersey, doing some work, and I came back home the other night, and I threw it in. And for me personally, and I don't want to make this about me, but I have to mention this because of the emotions. I'm taking care of my father on home hospice as we speak, and he's at moderate level, which is the second level down. And it's not good, but I'm here for him. And, there's scenes in there where, you just see like Kelly helping him up on the walker and all that. It was just so relatable. Like if any of us who, lost a loved one or took care of a loved one who was very sick. And if you love Ozzy, I don't see how how the waterworks weren't coming out, man. Because that man fought tooth and nail to get back up on that stage. I mean, he got sober again, and with his mindset at his age after that fall, most people would just be like, whatever, I have enough money. But you know what that told me? Ozzy didn't care about that. He cared about us. When he left his last tour in 2018, or last show, I should say, which was New Year's Eve, I'm talking full show at the Forum. He's been gone for 5-6 years, besides just, the halftime show appearance where he came out and collaborating. But I'm talking about running around on stage, Ozzy as we know him, from all the Ozfest and beforehand. I do tend to jump all over the place, so don't mind me, because it's hard with stuff like this, because I'm going through an emotional time, and I'm an Ozzy freak, and he was everything to me, because he's the reason why I started playing music. He was the reason why I got sober, going on 4 years now. Thank you for that one, Oz, because I always use the mantra, if Ozzy could do it, I could do it. But this documentary, I have to admit that I had moments in my life where I thought maybe Sharon Osbourne was pushing him too much. And boy, did I get humbled. I went to a show back in 2005 in Homedale, New Jersey, and there was an episode on the Osbournes of Ozzy yelling at her, to Tony, going, I can't do 2 in a row. I can't do 2 in a row. And then the next scene, you see, hello, Albuquerque. And we showed up to the day 2 show. I remember my girlfriend at the time, this was 20 years ago, my girlfriend at the time got the day 2 show. And I was like, and they were touring Iron Maiden at the time. And then when we pulled right up, and my buddy Peach, he's the one that really got me in the Ozzy as a kid. And he never seen him. I already seen him prior, and Sabbath, but he didn't. And we get there, and right when we pull in, they said, Ozzy can't do the show tonight. So that's like, so I had like that little personal, like, beef, like thinking like, oh, Sharon's just about, milking him out until this or that. I'm going to admit that. I mean, I loved her. Meaning now, like, if it wasn't for her, with Ozzy, we wouldn't have songs like Mr. Crowley. We wouldn't have the Randy Rhoads era. We wouldn't have Jakey Lee era. All of them. Zakk Wylde, all of them. Gus G, the Holmes, I could go on and on. Gillis. But Ozzy is the one that wanted to be on that stage. Like he says in this documentary, it's my heir. And thank you for saying that, Ozzy, that we're your heir. And he means it, though. That's why I think he's one of the most beloved artists of all time, because sometimes you wonder with these, multi-mega rich millionaire, 5-star, A-star, whatever you call it, celebs, are they really true to who they are? Ozzy never changed. The only thing Ozzy changed was when he got money, he was able to clean himself up and obviously, bought some expensive gear and jewelry. But I'm saying Ozzy, inside, the man, how he was, never changed. At all. Never put on an act. Meaning, when he's hanging out with people in public or whatever, his honesty is so endearing, it's unbelievable. But him, going back to what I was saying about Sharon, and I have to eat my humble pie on this one because I was wrong. They were, and that's that. Ozzy was the one that wanted to keep going. And Sharon knows Ozzy better than anyone. She knows that that's what keeps him going. And if you watch this documentary, like I said, I'm not going to give a lot away on it. I just want to give you my take because I don't know if a lot of people have seen it, but you see her eyes watching him like in pain. And what she, I don't want to jump ahead, but I'm sure you've heard already by now, coming back home, and like she had builders at the home in England for him, built a big lake for him, made it perfect just for Ozzy. And she really, really, really loved and loves that man with all her heart. And I was envious of Ozzy in the way of like, wow, like there's really love like that out there that actually exists. And I have to give it to her. I don't know if it's supposed, it's a guy thing or if it's a this thing or whatever, but without her, after Sad, there's Ozzy, no Ozfest, no, none of that. No Ozzy solo. So that alone is huge. But the love, though, that they had, and I like looking at body language and in people's eyes, and she, like, like when you're like smiling, but you have that look like about to cry and stuff, and she adored him and adores him, excuse me. And I was so wrong about her. And I wasn't a hater of her. I was just mad. Who am I to, or who are we? Let the man know rest. We don't know what goes on behind closed doors. We read articles. We see YouTube stuff now that we can't trust because it's all AI. You'll never see that on this channel. And this channel's a non-monetized channel. It's just for diehard Ozzy Osbourne fans and Sabbath fans. Tribute to them. But just the love that those two had is... I learned a lot about Ozzy in this. There's a part that I'm going to bring up that tells me all about his heart. He's laying down on the couch and Sharon's talking, and this is like early on in the documentary. And Jack Osbourne goes to Ronnie James Dio videos. How about that? And Sharon's like, yeah, he's watching Ronnie James Dio videos and interviews because he feels terrible from what happened and this and what happened to him and all of this stuff and all the beef and this. And it just shows you like Ozzy didn't have it, like that ego. He didn't have an ego. I got to meet him. and it was an honor. And for the 5 minutes that I got to speak with them, it's like you're like the only like person in the room. I didn't get that like body language of like, get away from me, even though there were more people there. He loved his fans. And that's what this all boils down to, is the fans, us. Do other artists really love, I'm talking love their fan? Like Ozzy loves his fans. Like, I mean, he loves Sharon more. Come on. But I mean, it's Ozzy's Sharon and family fans, without a doubt. He can't live without us. He can't. That's why he was fighting so hard. The career that man had, he could have hung it up. Could have hung it up at any time. We all would have understood. But Ozzy's very insecure. And Ozzy didn't feel like that he said goodbye to his fans the proper way. And as we all know from the Back to the Beginning show, he didn't disappoint at all. When Big Dave was behind him with the hydraulic, when he came up from that stage and they rolled him out, and I hear him just go, "Have a good show, boss." And I love that guy, Big Dave. And then brings him back and comes up. Oh my God. Like it, if you haven't seen it, I know you've seen that, but in the documentary, just grasp yourselves. But didn't they have AI stuff out saying that Big Dave, though, was the one that was moving his arms and stuff? And people underneath are believing it. Like, do your research, folks. Not everything out there is real, you know, and all that stuff. Even though it's nice that they put in the AI with Ozzy talking about, it's time for me to die. Like, you know, that's not from him. He didn't say that. If you want to know what he said, get the book Last Rites. But just be careful with what you watch out there. So for truth, because I'm like a history buff, and like, I don't care if 2 or 3 people believe the AI stuff, but when I see thousands and thousands of comments believing this, it's like, where are we heading as far as history goes? But moving on, just unbelievable. And what breaks my heart though the most is I didn't realize that Ozzy just got out to England in June. I believe it was 5 days maybe before the show, or because he had to rehearse. And all that set up and everything, and my heart goes out to his family and Sharon Osbourne. I after you watch, if you've seen the BBC, and after you see this, and just prayers go out to her and her family. And she's got a obviously great support system. And Jack Osbourne, I love him to death. I mean, think about from the kid that he was, though, on the Osbournes to who he is now. Just what a man, you know. Gets diagnosed with MS. And I have experience with that from next fiance of mine. And then next thing you know, he's climbing stuff. He's just made his own way. Even Kelly, all of them, like, you know, they're great and they're genuine. And the only difference about them than most blue collar regular people is that, yeah, they have millions and millions and millions of dollars. But them, I don't see that getting to them. And that's why Ozzy, though, is so loved. Gene Simmons even said it. He said, I would always like play the game, and I wish that I could have took it back. I wish I could go back and maybe change things a little bit. Ozzy didn't play a game. Ozzy was Ozzy. There was no Ozzy before Ozzy, no Ozzy after. But after watching this documentary, and I'm going to keep this brief because I know how attention spans are out there, it was just, for me personally, it was, I remember giving you my take. I told you what's going on with my father and stuff like that. So it was just, wow. I can't find the words for it. Emotion. Like it was very, 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 very emotional. If you love Ozzy Osbourne, just, you know, have a box of tissues though next to you. Let's put it that way. But me, I'm an animal freak, and I love animals almost more than humans. And my dog Ozzy, 13 years old, died. Then Ozzy plays the Back to the Beginning show. And then I found solace in that. And I finally got her urn out and put it next to my bed. So I was like, well, Ozzy did his last show. It's kind of fitting. And it was months out. I mean, my dog died at the end of January. So, it was only like 5-6 months later. But, well, it took me that long to find like that. Now it's like what I found solace in as well. Hey, my dog Ozzy, I don't have any kids, 44, single. My dog Ozzy was my child. And when I lost Ozzy, and then after the Back to the Beginning, I was like, okay, it sucks, but because obviously I named her after Ozzy, even though it was a female, I don't care. I was saying I'm getting a dog, I'm naming her Ozzy. I wanted a black dog named Ozzy, nice little lap dog that was always on my lap for 13 years. Passes. Ozzy's last show, I find some solace in that, and then 17 days later, boom, we get hit with the news. What breaks my heart the most, and I'll probably end at this because I don't want to give too much away because it just came out, is the end of Ozzy's life. Yes, he got to see the love. He got to see the electric wake, right? That's what it really was. It's an electric wake, electric funeral, in a way. And so that's great. And I didn't realize that he was like all talking like upbeat because from the BBC one and this or that. And, he seemed great in that. But you got to remember, these are just clips when he's talking to Kelly about Mama, I'm coming home. And there's a part in the documentary, spoiler alert, where he gets inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, as we all know. And Jelly Roll doesn't show up for rehearsal, and Ozzy can't stand the fact that he's just watching these bands. He's watching them, and I'm sure he's grateful, but he wants to be up there. He's embarrassed. He wants to be up there. Who wouldn't? And Sharon Osbourne, beautiful point. Why do they wait so long to induct these people into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? I understand Ozzy's already there with Sabbath, but Ozzy Osbourne, he is rock and roll. Like, why do they wait so long? But regardless, he got to see himself get inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and he got to see himself. He got to pull out that last show and see all of the fans. And there was over 3 million requests for tickets for that show. 3 million. That's just for tickets to actually go to the show. This man is universally loved I think he's the most beloved artist of all time. Not meaning just the music, meaning by who he is. Why is Ozzy Osbourne loved? Because the things that are in our mind, he'll say them. We all could have, we're all in some, you could be a lawyer, doctor, a screw up, regular blue collar guy, whatever walk of life you are in, you could find relatability to Ozzy Osbourne somewhere. And what this documentary taught me was, because I thought that I knew Ozzy like 100%, like from everything I've seen, and with the Ronnie James Dio tapes and all that, just such a humble guy, loved his father, loves his family, loves just a normal guy that never let fame get to his head. And how often, when do we see that? But he was always, he did it for the fans. He did it for the fans. Yes, of course, there's money involved in that business, and I know it, but he genuinely just wanted to get on that stage. Almost $200 million to Parkinson's. It wasn't a money grab or nothing. Sharon threw him that. And I get upset, though, thinking about all the times I was like, is she over pushing him or no? Like, and who am I to say that? That's what's wrong with us. I think we assume too much, myself included, as people, and we need to shut our mouths and really, sit back and assess situations more. We like to jump the gun from the cover of or this or that. Just like Ozzy's a Satanist, he sang about Aleister Crowley. Read the lyrics. Read the lyrics. Go in depth with it. So, it was very emotional. If you love Ozzy like I love Ozzy, yes, it's going to be emotional for you. The timing in my life for this happening is just unique in a way because of what's going on with my pops. So it just tied all in because I have the best father in the world and he doesn't have much time left. And Ozzy was always like that second father figure from afar. That got me into music, that I'd read, I'd watch footage of him when I was down. I don't know, I was in countless rehabs, and I remember the last one, it wasn't a rehab, it was a detox in 2021, November 26th, and I just kept saying, if Ozzy could do it, I could do it. If Ozzy could do it, I could do it. If Ozzy could do it. And this was after he's diagnosed with Parkinson's even and all that stuff, and that's what I held on to till I had a little bit of a spiritual type awakening. Hold on to whatever you got to hold on to till you get there, folks. If anyone who's struggling with substance abuse. But just the love that she had for him was just so genuine, so pure, and I pray that she's doing all right. And like I said, I don't do reviews like normal. I'm not very professional too. I just, I talk off the cuff. I don't write down bullet points. I just come at you organic, completely transparent, and that's how I do it. But I learned a lot about Ozzy Osbourne, his family, and Sharon Osbourne from this documentary that I didn't know at all. You think you know from the Osbournes, from the podcast, if you watch the Madhouse Chronicles, if you watch the Billy Morrison, I love that guy, Billy Morrison, was always at the Madhouse Chronicles with Ozzy, guitar for Billy Idol, just a great friend to Ozzy, and him coming over too lights up. You could tell it always lights Ozzy up. You even hear it on the podcast. You see these things, how could you be? He's a celebrity. He was somewhat, he spoke though to so many people. You know how many people out there though that don't have a father figure or anything like that, and you sit down and if you're a musician, you listen to certain albums, there's a connection there that helps you get through. So it's okay to be upset when one of your favorite musicians or whoever passes. It's okay to get upset in general. It's very emotional. Definitely watch it. 2 hours long. Paramount Plus. You will not be disappointed at all. Meaning by how I'm disappointed that Ozzy Osbourne had to live the last years of his life after the love that he gave to everyone in agonizing pain. That's what hurts me. Yes, from outside looking at Oz, it's like, yay, he got to see, but I look at it as like when he's by himself in a room, like, he's trying to watch a movie. And like, because I remember when I had surgeries on my leg 3 and 5 days, and like the agony that like I was in, like that man was in so much pain and still had a little sense of humor going and still just fought and fought and fought. And he was trying to walk for that, and all that type of stuff. And he definitely made the right move with the chair. And just, it's Ozzy. So like, that's even fitting. Even if he was able to run around and stuff, like on a throne coming, it's just fitting. But R.I.P. to Ozzy Osbourne. You guys got to watch this, and ladies, on Paramount Plus. It was incredible. It's tough because I just watched the BBC one last night, so I might be mixing two, like both of them in. But what I took away from this was I was dead wrong about Sharon Osbourne. I was dead wrong about her. Ozzy's the one that wanted it. And her. They were 50-50. They both did their part. And Ozzy would never, ever be able to live without that woman. I don't believe. And after watching both of them and what she did for him with the house, it's so disheartening. But he wanted to be buried in England, and he got to England, and he killed it. He killed it at that show, and did a Comic-Con, and because the whole time I thought that something was going on or this or that, but Jack Osbourne was back in LA. He was happy. He was smiling. You've seen the interviews, I'm sure, and then we got the news. But all I'm going to say is, I don't want to keep drawing this out, but just wow. I had to eat some humble pie, and I love you, Ozzy. I love you, Sharon, Jack, Kelly, Amy, all of you. You're great. You don't let the success and the fame and all that get to your head. I'm sure when you were young and stuff, going into clubs, I'm Ozzy Osbourne's kid. Who wouldn't? But just to see how you are now is beautiful with families. And R.I.P. Ozzy Osbourne. Thank you. Thank you for what you did. Thank you, Jack Osbourne, for getting Ozzy that PA system. Because without that, we wouldn't even have Ozzy. And thank you, Sharon Osbourne, for saving him and recognizing the talent and falling in love with them because he needed someone like you. And I just never seen a more pure love than them two. After this, it's just, you can't deny it. And I feel for her and the whole family, and my heart goes out to them. Check it out on Paramount Plus, guys. The BBC one's up too. No Escape From Now, Ozzy Osbourne, Paramount Plus. Let me know what you guys think of No Escape From Now. It's hard because the two are confusing me, so excuse me, and Coming Home. But No Escape From Now, let me know what you thought of it. I didn't give any spoilers, really. I just talked about it, a couple parts there. But check it out for yourselves and let me know in the comments what you think. But God bless Ozzy Osbourne. Yeah. Even though we're talking about a different one. God bless Ozzy Osbourne and his family. Subscribe to Into the Void. Hit that like button. And I'll see you next time on Into the Void. Ozzy Osbourne Tribute.